earned second place in Division 4. In addition to the team's success, 5 students placed among the top 10 individual scorers. Griffin Tranel finished 3rd, Wesley Detlefson finished 4th, Tony DeMarco finished 6th, Carter Doran finished 8th, and Joey Dobreiner finished 10th. Congrats to Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Griffith, and all students who completed in this school year. On the first weekend of May, the music department took 16 students to state solo and ensemble at UWSP. They competed in 16 different events ranging from solos, duets, vocal and trumpet trios, tuba solos, and more. Aside from receiving high ratings in all categories, 3 events were nominated for an exemplary award. After being nominated, judges can select one event from approximately 50 that they heard throughout the day to receive this award. Seniors Olivia Allwarden and Jack Schrader were selected for their vocal duet, and freshman Wesley Detlefson, junior Joey Dobreiner, and sophomore Caden Isaacson were also selected for their trumpet trio. Great job to all those who competed.
Last month, 5 of the high school students traveled to Madison to compete at state forensics. Juniors Maya Horrible and Storm Ryer earned a silver medal for their group performance, while junior Joanna Moreno and sophomores Lilia Hernandez and Maria Cueto each individually received bronze medals. Moving on to sports, high school baseball's record is currently sitting at 7-6 in the conference, with more conference matchups on the docket for these upcoming weeks that will determine how they finish their season. Softball is currently sitting at 2-13 record, but with a big win against Rochelle last week, and they are hoping to keep that winning momentum going into their last 4 games of the season. There are also 2 more weeks of regular games before playoffs begin. In track, freshman Hayden Kleifkin recently received first place in the 100-meter dash, and senior Nolan Bastine hit a PR in the 200-meter dash at the Wisconsin Rapids meet. With the track season winding down, regionals are less than 2 weeks away. Finally, Drama Club is currently working on their annual variety show. The show will feature a variety of skits written entirely by our own Drama Club students. Stop into the Dorothy Alexander Auditorium next Friday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. to watch all the wonderful and funny performances.
Thank you for listening. We hope you have a great night.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions for student reps?
You had to sit there longer than your report.
You are more than welcome to stay, but I suspect you want to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody is in attendance tonight, including our new board member, Ms. Sievers. Do we want to set the date for the June meeting? Which would
June
be
11th. June 11th, it's a Wednesday.
June
Second
11th.
Yes.
Is that good for everybody? June 11th at 5.
5:30.
5:30 if the executive session is needed earlier. Okay? Okay. Under questions and comments from people in attendance,
Did anyone sign in to speak?
I just was gonna talk during,
so
when we.
Steve?
approve
During the
our-
agenda.
Yeah, during the agenda item.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, all right. Are we gonna jump the initial proposal ahead, or are we gonna leave it where it is on the agenda?
Yeah, just-
We're gonna follow the agenda.
Just keep going,
Yes.
okay. Under the consent agenda, consider approval of the minutes from the past meeting of April 9th.
So moved.
Kathy?
Second.
Motion
Carried.
and second for the approval of the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Consider approval of financials under the consent agenda. Are there any gifts?
Yes, I have 2 to report. The first one is from the United Methodist Church, $210 for our Families Helping Families account again. And then a really exciting one, we received a $25,000 donation from the Darlene Bushmaker estate. Mrs. Bushmaker was a former art teacher here in our district for many years, and I actually got to have her as a teacher. And I have spoken with her sister several times. Was a very wonderful lady, and she shared some things that she had gotten when Mrs. Bushmaker had passed away from, in fact, a classmate of mine, Lisa Millenbaugh, who Becky will know and John probably remembers, wrote a really nice article, or wrote a really nice letter to them, sharing different things she's done in her life, but. So $25,000 to be used for the art department. I've already let Natasha know that it's there, so that's pretty exciting.
That's wonderful. That's extraordinarily generous.
She was a wonderful
She was.
teacher, wonderful. And when we went to all-day kindergarten, that gave her another class, and she was not really very happy, and I didn't blame her.
No.
Because Natasha knows what it's like to teach art K-12.
Okay. A motion for the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Second. And this is a roll call.
Yes.
Okay. Kathy?
I,
John?
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Leo? Aye. The consent agenda is approved.
Taking over my job doing that.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody just expects my voice.
that's why when Leo asked me that one time, I didn't know what I was talking.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a little delay there.
There
That's
was.
okay.
We're gonna have black smoke coming out of the chimney. Yeah, never mind.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Item 10, the Neola policy update, second reading. These are policies that we looked at last time. Unless there is concern or discussion, this is a simple approval.
So move approval for the Neola policy updates.
Second,
Motion and a second for the policy updates. Any discussion?
I just want to say how much we appreciate that organization, or whatever you call them.
Neola,
Neola,
Yeah.
yeah, the
board policy company.
board policy company, because it is a whole lot, and they tell us where we need to be.
Wonderful safeguard for the district. It is, yeah.
And the fact that we do it a little differently as a.
Yes.
That is really a good thing.
Streamlined.
Yes,
There are school districts where when policies are taken each meeting, there is a
Subcommittee.
significant section of the meeting where the policy is read in detail and elaborated on and debated and explained, and
they go long.
people are looking for
More coffee.
more coffee and packages from refugees. It's not good. All right, we have a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the updates, answer by saying aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Under new business, finally, and again, my apologies for delaying this process beyond what we were expecting. I'm very sorry. The executive session ran longer for a variety of reasons. Conduct initial exchange proposals with the 25-26 agreement between the Port Edwards Board of Education and the Port Edwards Education Association.
Good evening. I have a copy of our proposal. Yep.
There's just 3 sets there.
Okay.
We could pass them out.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
Congratulations on being recertified.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and a big thank you to you for being patient as we worked through that whole process.
Again,
Yes,
2 years in a
yes.
row.
I was
Yes.
on the kind of the front line of those emails and that communication along with Marissa, and it was, I'll use the word perplexing a little
Yes.
bit. It was a little confusing, but fortunately, we made it through. We
Yeah.
supported,
Plus a
we
little
supported the union.
ridiculous.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But we appreciated your support in it and your patience while we worked through it. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
So, now that the exchange has taken place, is there a desire for you guys to discuss this now? Do you want to come
I
back?
think we only need maybe a minute or two. I
To
don't
look
think
at.
we are
That's
gonna
fine.
need much more than that.
Okay.
Okay, you can certainly wait.
Okay.
We'll await your decision.
It's aggregate.
I know, I thought it was 9. It's 9.
On ours it was.
I had 2 nights.
I had 295.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
district is using 295.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe
Oh.
they looked at a different month. It changes.
Yeah, oh, okay, okay.
Okay. But they've got enough time.
We won't start without you.
Yeah.
You have your login information and stuff for that.
Kathy, do you remember
Did you
when
get that?
Mrs. Bushmaker retired?
Did you get
Did
that?
you email it to me?
I didn't, did any, I would, I'm not sure if you.
Well,
Do you not remember for sure, but
You didn't get anything?
I've been gone
I don't
16
think
years,
she
so
has.
there
I'll
was
double check.
a lot.
Was she here before or after?
I'm not in there.
Oh, way before,
I'll try to look
I asked.
yeah,
Monday
yeah,
when I'm back.
she would have retired way before
Obviously,
me.
it's been good.
I mean, I've been retired 16 years, she would have been retired
I'm
a
back.
long time before that.
They're back. That was quick.
Yeah.
You can certainly go ahead.
Probably, me, even,
He said go ahead. You can wait for Carrie. I don't know.
She was here in 82 when I graduated.
Proceed.
The Port Edwards Education Association is prepared to accept the offer from the school board.
Thank you.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah? Okay, great.
we know you had a
No,
meeting
no,
or something else to do.
Okay.
It's too bad.
Okay,
What?
I guess we can skip over item 12, since there's no need to adjourn and reconvene. Item 13, consider approval of 25-26 support staff compensation.
I move to approve the support staff compensation as we discussed in closed session.
Second.
You should,
Oh, I can't even second.
you should probably not do that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's still.
John or,
Oh.
Second?
there you go, Krista.
Just seconded. Any remaining discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstention.
And note that Carrie abstains. Item 14, consider approval of 25-26 administrative and administrative support contracts.
Make motion to approve the administrative and administrative support contracts as discussed in closed session.
Second.
A motion and second to approve those contracts. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 15. Consider approval of 25-26 teaching contracts, including the amended agenda item to include our new math person. Do we need to do these as individuals
It
or
can be
can
one
they
item. Can be one
Set
item.
as one, all right. For April Hofferman, Mackenzie Reeves, Ariana Dominguez, and Andrea
Butts.
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 Move to approve.
Move to approve.
I second it. Another former kindergartner and staff.
Motion been made and second to approve 25-26 teaching contracts for the listed staff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Number 16, consider approval of a buildings and grounds director, Sean Ringer.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Finally, consider approval of the 25-26 security health plan.
At this time, I'd like to welcome a guest to our meeting, Bill Enright. He's a insurance consultant with USI. Lisa and I have been working closely with Bill and one of his associates this spring. Welcome to our meeting, Bill.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Just a brief introduction, our role is, as an independent consultant, is to make sure the school district has the most competitive benefit program to suit their needs. Also to service the employee base, those here, as far as their employee benefits needs. We negotiated a 2.5% increase with Security Health Plan on all the plans, and we look to keep that as competitive for, well, of course, it's a 12-month contract for the remainder of the year, but we've got a goal of similar for next year's renewal. Any questions of me?
I'm just gonna toss out a idea that I haven't discussed with anybody. Is it still generally considered advantageous for the pool of covered staff to be larger rather than smaller? Or is that necessarily not true?
Yes, with the condition of this. The insurance companies, be it Security, be it Aspirus, whomever, they will have separate pools of business. One for small group, under 50, and one for large group, over 50. They've made allowances for the small and large group in their renewal, in their underwriting, and in their pooling to still offer competitive rates in those different markets. So to answer your question directly, there is an effect, but the insurance industry and the insurance carriers have taken that into consideration.
My only thought upon seeing this on the agenda tonight was, I wonder if there has ever been a discussion had with the village about bringing the village employees and the school district employees together in an insurance pool.
Co-op?
In a co-op. I mean, the village doesn't have a lot of staff. I don't know if it would make any difference.
I haven't had that conversation.
Just-
I don't, again, I don't.
I would guess, given the small numbers, it's probably not very significant, but I just thought I would ask.
Right now, we're in such a good position. I'm just speculating, but the only direction I could see us, it would have an adverse effect. I don't know. It may have no effect. Do you have any thoughts without being able to see the size of the pool or any of the detail of it?
And correct, you assign risk when you assign rates, or vice versa, I should say. Given the prior statement of the allowances made in an underwriting actuarial manner for groups of small group under 50 and over 50, we will explore, as we discussed in our strategy meeting, many options, meaning cooperative employer grouping. My thought right now initially would be that would be negligible. Yeah.
There's not a significant, we're not talking 200 people here. It's not
Correct,
right.
yeah, in villages, but also, and this can be discussed further at any time, organizations need to come together for purposes other than insurance, legally. So given that, there are cooperatives, there are association plans and so on that allow for it. But on its initial face value, if you're coming together only for insurance purposes, like the machine shops down the block, that they won't allow that, they being the insurance company.
I was curious.
No, it's every door needs to be opened.
All right. Any other discussion or any other questions concerning this? Okay. Consider approval of the 25-26 Security Health Plan as presented.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 18, thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate your patience. Consider approval of non-resident pupils 25-26 school year open enrollment applications. As listed in your packet.
Motion is requested for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second has been heard for this item. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider approval of 25-26 breakfast, lunch, and milk prices as presented in the packet.
It's noted that there is a slight increase due to the increased costs of foods in order to maintain a healthy food services budget.
It's pretty small.
Very
Yes,
minimal.
very small.
Very
I think
minimal.
it's,
And do we still have, not an issue with people that haven't paid their, because it's taken care of with,
We are very lucky. We have
That's-
very few issues with
Stayed on
it, you
top of
know,
that.
we just really do,
good.
you know.
Yeah.
So our lunch accounts that are
They're
in
not out
arrears
there
are
by any
virtually
means.
nil.
I mean, of course
Very,
you're gonna have
very
one
minimal.
here and there.
Yeah, but
But to be honest, it's not a huge issue,
The things that you see in the media,
right?
that is not a thing here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I made a motion to approve
We
it.
have a motion on the table.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item 20, consider approving student transportation list for 2025-2026.
If I could just make one comment on that, I spoke with Kathy this afternoon and her eagle eye spotted some addresses in the list that I received from Ben from Lamers that shouldn't be there. So Ben was out on a route because they're short-handed this time of year, so he was busy, so I talked to Teresa and she said, I was talking to her, I was driving, so I did not have a chance to really look at this, but she said it's obviously just a typo or that you shouldn't be there. So what Kathy and I discussed is approving only students that live in whatever school district area would
Yes,
be approved. Obviously, we're not gonna approve someone that has a Wausau address.
because I was looking at that and I'm like, Wausau?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And
So-
a lot of Rapids
You know,
addresses
and,
that
you know,
I
and
didn't.
yeah, so
Only
I'll get
this-
a hold of Ben and we'll figure that out, but I think if we
table
just,
it or?
No.
No.
or if you
With
just
the,
make
Just say the
Make just
students
no.
in our district.
listed that are
In our
in
district.
our,
It's in the district.
in the
Yes.
district boundaries or whatever.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the student transportation list for the students in the Port Edwards School District.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Consider approval of early student release on June 5th.
Yes, the idea was proposed just a couple of weeks ago for an early release on our last day with students as somewhat of a early start to summer break for our students and a little bit of extra time for our teachers to check out, clean their rooms, etc., have some end of the year meetings at the end of the school year. This is taking roughly 2.5 to 3 hours off of our last day of school, very minimal. It has no impact on our DPI legally mandated hours. The motion is to modify the calendar to allow for 12:20 dismissal here at the elementary and 12:30 dismissal at the middle school, high school on June 5th.
I
So I-
move to approve. School's out,
School's out for
Second.
summer.
let the monkeys out.
Second.
Is there a motion?
Kathy.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I second.
Motion and a second. I'm assuming no further discussion is necessary on this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Administrative reports. Principal Pina.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Some exciting and fun things happening here at the end of the school year. The elementary school character trait for our last month of May is creativity. Creativity is discussed each day during morning announcements and classroom morning meetings. And we have our character trait bulletin board, of course, at the back of the room, done very nicely by Mrs. Sorbo and some others. So we talk a lot about creativity at the end of the school year. Our People organization held its annual Muffins in the Morning spring event on Friday morning, May 9th. We had an outstanding turnout. We had about 150 parents and grandparents along with their elementary children. They enjoyed coffee and refreshments while seeing the school, spending time with each other. It's just great camaraderie and a great way to open our doors. And again, about 150 people. This is organized by Sarah Schrader, Carly Peckham, and several other elementary moms. And we're very, very thankful for their time and their effort in doing this. So thank you to the People organization, doing a lot of great things. Speaking of People, they are also putting together, organizing, and hosting the end of the year elementary carnival. That will be held after lunch on Monday, June 2nd, with a rain date of Tuesday, June 3rd. Out here on our north lawn, students will be playing field games on inflatable carnival toys and doing arts and crafts projects that go along with our month of creativity. Thank you to People for leading that fun event. And elementary summer school is coming up after our last day of school. It is scheduled for 3 weeks. Elementary summer school is an enrichment program. It is not any type of credit recovery. It'll run Monday, June 9th through Friday, June 27th. As of today, we have 56 students signed up for the morning program, 7 teachers and 2 paraprofessionals. There are 3 morning sessions. Summer school starts with breakfast being served every day at 7:45. Lunch begins at 11:30. And then students whose parents sign them up get on a bus at 12 o'clock and they go over to the Y to swim for the afternoon. Once again, summer school breakfast and lunch is free to anyone in our school district age 18 and younger. Thank you.
And have people in the past come, even if they're not in summer school, to get a free
Yes.
lunch? And
Yes.
that's good for them.
We put signs up and yeah, it's just a free service.
Good,
Absolutely.
very good.
Middle school, high school principal, James.
Good evening. I just wanted to start out, last week we had our Teacher Appreciation Week. We had an absolute blast. We did a Survivor Challenge. Each teacher got to spin a wheel, pick a challenge each day, complete that challenge, but they had to video it or take a picture of it and then send it to Mrs. Klinsky or myself. The pictures, the videos are amazing, from staff singing to spelling the word grit with student bodies and the G and the R and the T, and they had to take it from the top of the spider web. We had an absolute blast. We were able to, I feel, really appreciate our teachers. And we even had Mrs. McGrath came in and headed up a carrying cart at the middle school and at the elementary school and high school. So they came through at 9 o'clock on Thursday and walked around and, just, and this was talked about before, but they went around to each classroom and the teachers were able to grab something to drink and a snack. So we thank those people that were involved in that. It was awesome. And former teacher that I had, Candy Pratel. She was my art teacher. I remember that. She was one of the people that walked around.
Yes, she was very excited to see you.
Yeah, the name just rang a bell. So, and then she reminded me of Ron Tell, the old custodian that was there too. So, yeah. Anyways, we had an absolute blast of a week. The teachers had a lot of fun. They said the week flew by, and if you guys know anything about the middle school, high school right now, you want them to go fast, right? They're starting to drag. We have some upcoming events happening. Senior dessert will be May 21st at 6:30. So obviously you guys are invited to that if you want to come see our awards banquet for our seniors, May 21st. Our graduation will be May 31st at 11 a.m. in the morning. So preparations have already started for that. Our summer school, we're going to run it 3 weeks, and we're going to run it, again, it'll be in this building for lunch purposes. We're going to run it from 7:45 to 12:45 for 3 weeks, June 9th through the 13th, 16th through the 20th, and 23rd through the 27th. And that strictly will just be credit recovery of ELA, math, and social studies. And we have our staff agreeing to work those 3 weeks. So I don't have numbers yet, but we did construct a letter that'll go out on May 21st, informing parents that this is what's expected of them, of the kids, to earn the half a credit at the high school level and to move forward into outside the middle school. area. So we have that going. And then this last week, we had our band and choir concerts. I saw some of you guys there. Absolutely amazing. Those women are rock stars at their profession and with the kids. So we had a blast at the choir and the band concert. Both went over well attended from everybody. And again, you heard from the student representatives. The amount of people that are winning these state and national awards from those ladies, there's 10,000 kids and we have 3 of them out of 10,000 in the United States. So there's some awesome things going on at our middle school and high school level. And that will be it.
Thanks, Shane.
Any questions for Shane? How many graduates this year?
31?
Yeah, 20.
Different
It fluctuates.
Well,
It's not a good thing to say.
There's a few that are not walking,
Yes.
so there's kind of, which depends which thing you're looking at. Are you looking at the
Okay.
program, or are you looking at?
34 is what we're looking at, so we have a couple that have chose to possibly not walk,
Okay,
however, we're working on them.
How many are not allowed to walk?
So I'm hoping that we have all 34 there, but we'll see. Some have graduated early and chose not to, they've already moved and moved
Sure.
on. And
they're
that's the
long,
world
long gone.
that's the world we live in now.
Yep.
And that importance, I don't want to lose that, but unfortunately in the world we live in, it just kind of gets lost a little bit, so.
And with Miss Moore being off right now,
Maternity
it probably is a good time to double check with the board members, seeing as I'm kind of helping,
Sure.
going back in my old role, for graduation.
I will be there.
Who will be able to attend? You'll all be there,
Right.
okay. And then John can,
Bar any major disaster, yes.
yes, okay. And Mr. Dodman can fill in Mr. Thomas Garrett on his
Duties.
duties. Oh, yeah,
Duties and
and he'll have to
obligations.
do that, yes.
Oh,
The
those
the
duties,
diplomas
yes.
need to be signed, so when you can get those signed and back to me, that would be fantastic. You can take them home, bring them back to me.
You know you gotta write a speech and speak, right?
Yeah. Leo doesn't have a truck.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I know it once.
And 7 years ago.
I said it for you, Carrie.
District administrator report, Jim, back to you.
Okay. I want to echo what Shane had mentioned about Teacher Appreciation Week. During Teacher Appreciation Week here in Port Edwards, we recognize all of our employees. And we're very, very thankful for them. We had some, as Shane mentioned, we had a lot of support. The district provided employees with a gift card, a Chamber of Commerce gift card, or a hanging plant, or a gift card to the 1716 restaurant in Wisconsin Rapids as well. That was the gift from the district. Mrs. McGrath was at both buildings with a caring cart, which was fantastic. Wonderful acknowledgement of our staff. Mr. Steltenpole did so many great things at the high school. Mrs. Miller helped out behind the scenes, as she always does, with Teacher Appreciation Week. Building secretaries did a lot. The parent organization provided flowers here and some treats. PEEF is providing a staff appreciation meal in a couple of weeks. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that chipped into Teacher Appreciation Week. They did an amazing job for us. So thank you. On Monday evening, April 28th, I spoke at the Spring UW-Stevens Point School of Education banquet on behalf of the How Are You Foundation. Port Edwards School District earned a grant that we wrote in 2024 to offset the cost of district curriculum work. And of course, Dorothea was a teacher here in mid-century. She taught here for approximately 30 years. And 5 or 6 years ago, her family gave a very generous donation to UW-Stevens Point, which is being used primarily to support rural and small school districts in Wisconsin. So we were benefactors of a grant that we wrote in 2024. So it's always nice to see, to speak about the How Are You Foundation and acknowledge that she was a teacher here in Port Edwards. It's very nice. I'd like to say a public thank you to elementary custodian Chris Martin and alumnus Casey Schrader. They were able to secure a donation of glass basketball backboards from the Village YMCA. The YMCA, as we know, is going down. So we are getting all new, they're like new glass backboards. Estimated value well over $10,000. They were brought here and they are going to be put up in our gym to replace the, I will say, just not as nice metal backboards. So we're getting nice new backboards here in the gym. That is taking place on June 28th and 29th. Those backboards are going up. About that time, at the end of summer school, we are going to start our referendum-related projects. Asbestos abatement will take place at both schools between June 30th and July 11th. The asbestos is going to be removed this summer from the elementary gym, elementary kitchen, and the FIAD storage closet here, and from the Spanish and staff workrooms at the high school. We're getting a new rubberized elementary gym floor. That will go down between July 15th and August 1st. And the elementary kitchen, the FIAD storage area, and high school staff workroom are going to receive epoxy coating floors, nice new epoxy, very similar, if not identical, to what we got in Mr. Burno's classroom last summer. So that is replacing the old tile in our kitchen and our workroom at the high school. In addition to that, we have technology upgrades going on and some HVAC upgrades at the elementary here this summer as well. Those dates are to be determined. So this will be a very, very busy building here this summer. The high school busy as well. Finally, one update about some staff training that's taking place this summer. Sean Springer, who was approved tonight, and Tanya Beaver, they will begin their formal orientation under Frank for Building and Grounds and under Ernestine Neve for Guidance Secretary on Monday, June 16th. They'll have 2 weeks of orientation, and then Tanya is taking over as our secretary and Sean as Director of Building Grounds on Tuesday, July 1st. So they are beginning midsummer, and we are keeping Frank and Ernestine just a quick phone call away with any questions that we have. Thank you.
That's assuming they answer.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Superintendent Beaver? Next, Special Education Director, Jody.
Well, last time I spoke a lot longer than I was going to, but this is going to remain relatively short. I have some points that I would like to chat about, but I think I'm gonna hold off, and I'm just gonna get right to some of the grindstone. I want to give you some numbers for the Special Education Department as we end the year. We had 17 new referrals this year. We currently have 72 students in special education and 4 evaluations still pending. If all of those qualify, we are going to be nearing 80 students in the special education department come the start of the school year. Of course, that's with move-ins and of course transfer out, so it all depends. I think my biggest thing, I could talk about all kinds of things that occurred, and when I quote Mr. Ayers in case he's whatever, he jokes with me because I always say communication is key. Our department truly runs on communication. The amount of emails that go back and forth for students in a day is crazy. To make sure we're meeting every academic, behavioral, executive functioning skills, social skills, down to using fidgets and all those things that take place in a day so the students can be successful in both buildings. It's definitely a lot, and until you really live it every day, it's hard to understand what goes on just for one student special ed, let alone 72. I really wanted to end the year with a super big thank you to my staff. And they are doing all the testing and they're working with the students every single day. And we have Rhea, who's our speech and language pathologist from CISA 5, as well as Cassie. She was a brand new did I say Rhea speech and language? Yeah.
Yes.
Cassie's our new school psychologist, she's brand new this year. Of course, at our high school, middle school, we have Max Ayers and Katie Schaefer. Katie was also new this year. And at our elementary, we had Christy Condi and Jenny Johnson, and Jenny was also new this year. So out of our 7 in our department, 4 of us were new. From the fall to today, there has been tremendous growth within the department, within the communication, and just, yeah, it's always joke. I do say the word communication a lot, so it is okay if it makes fun of me. And along with those teachers who put in all their efforts every day, I want to recognize my 8 paraprofessional staff, Pam Storbo, Kelly Hildenbrandt, Ashley Murray, Lynn Peterson, Madison Callahan, Jean Bruner, Kim Scott, and Nicole Martinson. That is a group of, what do I have here, 14 staff, and they work tirelessly each day. It's never a dull moment in regular education, but there's really never a dull moment in special education. So I appreciate the time and opportunity to just get to share a little bit more about what's going on in special ed. I have some things that occurred this year, but really the most important thing is the staff that is working with them every single day. So shout outs to them. And our numbers do keep increasing. We keep a close eye on each referral and each, those initial valuations that come in special ed. I really do look at them, finitely and just trying to get to the grit and make sure that we're doing a service to the student, but also not overqualifying. So please know we do take a look at that. We do all the appropriate testing, we're keeping everything compliant. So just so you know, I just think we have a great department, and I'm going to keep sharing it year after year when I'm here. Any questions?
A lot of those students are just speech and language. That might be the only reason they're identified.
No. So out of the 72,
Okay.
11 are speech and language only.
Okay, all right, that's what I wondered.
Yeah. So yeah, if the other 4 qualify, that would be 65 individuals with special needs and whatever that is, 11 speech and language only, something like that. But close enough. A lot of students.
Most of your referrals come from parents or from staff?
Both. It is out of intervention. We really at the elementary school have built up an intervention program that has become quite successful. A lot of work on their ends. And there's 4 interventionists. We have Kristen Winters, Sheena Vitello. At the middle school, we have Jesse Vandehei and Jeff Erdman. And so they keep a track of a ton of data. And we started to hold meetings to communicate more because their work directly feeds into my work and my staff's work to look at if they will qualify. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of data that you have to look at to even get to the referral process. So to answer your question, several parents more the poor process. Any other questions?
I want to give kudos to our RTI staff and Jody. Jody's in her first year. We don't get to hear from her a whole lot. I think our board got just a glimpse into her world tonight. The amount of detail, the amount of work, the importance of her work, and Jody being in her first year is absolutely nailing it. She's absolutely nailing it. She's doing a wonderful job as a leader with special ed law, with special ed deadlines, making sure we are compliant as a district, making sure our staff is compliant, making sure our staff is doing their job. So I'm extremely thankful and want to give you a pat on the back, Jody. You've had an excellent first year.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the reports because otherwise we don't know.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah, of
we want to
course you
hear
don't.
more
I'm
from
coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
You're
there you
gonna
go.
see me more. Thank you guys for your support so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for Jody? Okay. Individual board comment. Kathy?
There's so many wonderful things going on in this district, I can't even name them all. I'm blown away. Shane knows he came with the choral department last Monday to our Wisconsin Rapids Area Retired Educators Association. That's a long thing. But anyway, that's people from, and it's not just teachers, they can be anybody that's worked in a public school. So it's from Nakusa, Rapids, Port, and Tri-County. And our high school voices group came, and oh my gosh, they blew away the whole amount of people that there were there, like 35 people at Bullseye Country Club with their performance, and they got 2 standing ovations, which as long as I've been a member of that organization, I never remember anyone getting a standing ovation. They were absolutely awesome with their new robes, and they looked fantastic. And I was just, I actually had a little tear when Jack sang his solo. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
He's amazing.
It was totally amazing. And I had so many people say to me how wonderful they were, and not teachers from Port. So it was wonderful. So many things, good things going on with Math League. I mean, this is what, we are lucky in this small school. We have sports, we have arts, we have music, we have a little bit of everything. And it seems like the students are excelling in every area that they're in. So I'm just very, very proud.
John?
Yeah, I'd echo a lot of what Kathy said. I'd just like to give a thank you to all the administrators, teachers, support staff, maintenance, everyone involved in the school district on a great year. Just a big thank you. That's all.
Crystal?
I got nothing.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the board.
Kicking it in.
Gary?
I'll be fairly brief, but want to welcome Crystal to our board. You know, the other 4 members have been together for ever since I've gotten on the board. You 3 have been with me, and I think appreciate how well we've worked together, even with different people in the 5th role. But even tonight's re-election, I just want to say that I appreciate everybody's work over the years, and I didn't realize that Neil was on board for 17 years. So,
John's been here longer than I have.
John's been longer.
And thank you, John, for all your years of.
I feel like I've been here forever. I've only been here like 8 years or something. I don't know. So, and then it's great to hear again. Almost every monthly meeting, we have these math league. I love math. You know, I was
And we
a
are
kid
glad you
that, I love story problems, and I know that most people cringe when you say that, but those are my favorite things to do. is to see these kids excel in math, that's awesome. And then I wasn't the best band student, but I participated in solo ensemble. I didn't do as well as some of our students, but it's great to see them do those things. And I'm a little disappointed we didn't get golds in forensics this year, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some next year, because I think every other year we've had some golds in
Yeah, I think
forensics.
so too.
So that was a lot of things that go up my alley. And thank you, Jody. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Jim. And of course, you too, Mr. Neenan. Or, you know, since you're here, but, and you too.
So it's Win- it's
Kristen.
Mr. Burrow.
But all the staff, yeah, the teacher appreciation doesn't go far enough sometimes. So that's it. That's way more talking than I usually do. Sorry. Leo, you got to be short now.
Don't bet the farm.
Don't cut out it. Not touch it.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the board for their confidence in me. I guess I wanted to try doing this for a spell. John has served in this capacity for a really long time. I honestly don't know how many years, but his service has taken us through referendums, it's taken us through COVID, it's taken us through the hiring of several administrators and countless staff. And it's unusual for a person in a small town to devote the time and energy to their home school district that John Damon has. And when we're giving out accolades tonight, there needs to be some for John. Thank you. I want to welcome Crystal, the new kid. In the executive session we had, she didn't say much, but her eyes kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm sure that a lot of this is overwhelming, but you'll catch on, we all do. I was appointed to a vacancy on the board in December of 2007. And Dean Ryerson, who was the interim super here at the time, immediately offered me a chance to go to the state convention. Apparently nobody from this district had attended there for a while. So I availed myself of the one of the pre-convention seminars that they offer every year on the Tuesday before the convention starts. It was the ubiquitous school finance. 4 hours with a binder the size of several Manhattan phone books, tables of 8 neophyte board members, and a business person from a school district. And the young lady who was running our session was very good and very earnest, and I have mercifully forgotten her name. And at the end, she eagerly announced, "Now, everybody tell something that you've learned today." And all of us are sitting there. For those of you not in the business, the school finance world in this state would require a Ouija board, a Monopoly game, several bottles of rum, and divine intervention to figure things out. And when my turn came, well, what did you learn? And I looked around the group, and then it was all deer in the headlights, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "with no offense at all, if a constituent came to me and asked a question about school finance, the best that I could offer would be to find an immediate way to make an appointment with our administrator and our business director, and I would be happy to facilitate that, but if you asked me beans about what's going on, I would do nothing but muddy the waters." And she had this terribly disappointed look on her, like the 4 hours that she had spent was of no avail. And around the rest of the table, everybody was going like this. So don't feel bad. You'll catch on, kind of, sort of, for most things. Teacher Appreciation Week, I've always kind of wondered. I find it awkward. And in no way am I demeaning or minimizing all of the wonderful things that have happened. But I have always found it somewhat odd that education schools have to have an appreciation week for their staff. Does Elon Musk have an appreciation staff for the people at Tesla? Probably not. Does Warren Buffett have an appreciation week for the people at Berkshire Hathaway? Probably not. The stressors and the commitment and the obligations necessary for people who work in public schools today are colossal. For somebody who has never worked in the field, it comes as a revelation what goes on and what doesn't go on and what is expected of our staff. There is no way that we can appreciate you enough. We can't pay you enough. We can't give you enough cookies. We can't give you enough time off. You are superb in every regard. I wish, from the bottom of my heart, there was more that we could do for you. We try to the best of our ability. So I will add my kudos to the already significant numbers of things that have been done in this past week. Anything else from anybody? If not, then I guess we need to set a date for a future board meeting.
We did it, June 11th.
It's on a Monday?
No,
No,
Should be a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, June 11th.
The sheet says.
Wednesday, June 11th,
Oh,
Wednesday, June.
oh, yeah,
right?
That's an error.
oh, it does, okay.
It does come up as Wednesday, so that's good.
Are we going to do anything relative to the July meeting? Sometimes we bump the July meeting a little because of vacations and work and whatnot?
Can we address that in June? Okay.
We don't have to set a July meeting tonight.
Right.
With the June 1st being on a Tuesday, we probably will end up pushing it at least to the 16th. Yes.
July.
July first, yeah.
Sorry,
Right.
set the right date, just the wrong.
Sometimes the July and August meetings get scooted around a little to accommodate last minute hires and building work and other stuff.
Etc.
So, okay. Hearing nothing further, I'll call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Wow, you're quite quick tonight,
Everybody sees it.
I don't know. That's it.
I didn't mean to talk so long. I think it's just not me.
Much appreciated. Absolutely. Thank you. It's a long drive out here, but to be here, but.
Sixth grade.
Yeah.